The universe is just doomed, 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 doomed.
In the storeroom, each of them filled with little surprises.
Many piñatas?
Oh, yes, many.
Would you say I have a plethora of piñatas?
A what?
A plethora.
Oh, yes. You have a plethora.
Jefe, what is a plethora?
Why, Guapo?
Well, you told me I have a plethora. And I just would like to know if you know what a plethora is. I would not like to think that a person would tell someone he has a plethora and find out that that person has no idea what it means to have a plethora.
Hello.
Hi, welcome back.
It's us, Nicole.
Yeah,
I forgot who we
Tessa.
were.
And Liana is here as our
Third
singing
amigo.
bush.
Oh.
Yeah, that too. Who's who?
Who's who? Oh, damn. Who's got to be Chevy Chase? Who's got to be
I don't want to
Dusty?
be. We'll have to be.
You're going to have to
like
Rochambeau for who
Rochambeau
has
for
to be
that?
Dusty.
Who's the dustiest?
Who's the tallest?
Uh-oh.
If we go by height, we're all pretty close in
I
height.
know.
That's
That would
going to be
a-
by
Nobody
the
has to be
centimeter.
to the center. We're going to do this right, y'all. We're going to get out the little
Everybody get barefoot.
micrometer. We have to get barefoot and
we're
nude for
talking
some
about
reason.
Three amigos.
Three amigos for Cinco de Mayo. Yay.
Yeah, tomorrow Cinco de Mayo. So what better way to celebrate a Mexican holiday mainly celebrated by white people?
But then have a bunch of white people that are
Pretending to... They're not
Well,
really
what is-
pretending to be Mexican,
no,
but
they're
like...
really not. They're just in Mexico.
Other than that, they're
They're
called the
pretending to
Amigos and they're
be-
dressed like a mariachi band.
That's
I don't
true.
know.
That's
Like, did
true.
Mexican gunslingers really dress like that? No.
No,
Like, what about those outfits?
you'd be able to spot them from a mile.
Yeah.
Like everybody else was like
jingle
grimy
jangling
and like
around. Yeah. Everybody was
desert-
filthy.
colored.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody was the color of the desert,
Indeed.
and all their teeth were gross.
Oh, yeah.
So you'd
Some
see their
close-ups of
teeth.
that.
Really, that was what the dead giveaway was. All of them
Yeah.
with their teeth so white and bright.
Exactly. And if you have not seen this, which shame on you,
I know.
it's on Prime right now. You can check it out there.
You could get it there.
Let's get into this cast.
We have Steve Martin as Lucky Day.
Martin Short as Ned Nederlander.
And Chevy Chase as Dusty Bottoms.
And Alfonso Arau as El Guapo.
Patrice Martinez as Carmen.
Tony Plana as Jefe.
Randy Newman as the Singing Bush.
John Lovitz for a tiny
Right,
minute.
just
John
for a
Lovitz
bit.
and Phil Hartman we've got as Morty and Sam, which they're just
Right, they
barely
were
in it.
just the assistant to Joe Mantegna
Mantegna.
as Harry Flugelman.
Kai Wolf as the German.
Oh, I didn't get anybody else. That was it.
And I have to make a special mention to Betty Carvalho as Mama
yes.
Sanchez, who is the grandma of my old friend Dresden.
Yep.
And I've met her, and I was like super intimidated by her husband because he's like a war vet who's got one arm, and he's like this big dude, and like she's a little tiny
Right,
woman.
yeah.
And I don't know, we met and we had dinner, and he was not mean, but I was dating his granddaughter in the 90s, and so he wasn't. He was like a kind of old school dude, you know?
Right.
So he wasn't like super thrilled that I was holding hands with his 18-year-old granddaughter, but you know.
Wow. Oh, and congratulations, by the way.
Oh yeah, congrats, Dresden, on your baby. And she was in lots of stuff. She was in Die Hard, Halloween 5. I think it was 5.
Maybe
the one
5.
With Danielle.
Yeah, I think she was in both, but I think
both.
the one that the nurse.
She's the
was- she
nurse.
was in
Yeah,
the, fifth
the
one,
nurse.
yeah.
She was in Jag. She was
Ooh,
in
Jag.
and Falcon Crest.
Oh,
Another Falcon.
shit.
She goes in the
Oh,
Venn diagram
shit.
of Falcon Crest. So yeah, she has a long list. Betty
She
Carvalho.
does.
And then I just had Randy Newman as a singing bush, and that's all I had.
Right.
So we start out musically.
One for each other and all for one. The three brave amigos are we.
and they're in full gear on horseback,
Oh
dressed
my
like a mariachi band. And we get our long, we are the three
Amigos forever. Forever. Amigo. Nope.
14
For 14
seconds,
seconds, yes, for 14 seconds. And amigos forever will be.
And it's Mexico 1916, which I don't remember as a kid even really registering it was supposed to be 1916.
I mean, I guess it would stand to reason because the movies that they're in
Silent
are like
films,
silent
yeah.
films. And I mean, cars are new.
Yeah.
I guess the cars were also like a, whatever. So anyway, Rodrigo and Carmen on a donkey are looking for...
And like she makes this little boy pull her on a donkey
Well,
into
she
town.
can't walk.
I know, what's wrong with her legs?
She's leg disabled.
She's leg disabled again. Every movie there's somebody. And she rides side saddle on the burro.
Of course
Hilarious.
she does because she's a lady.
And they go to the cantina to find
The
few good
Cantina
men.
Borracho.
They got to find somebody. They're from the village of Santa Poco
Yep, they're looking for men.
to help them.
Right, because El Guapo threatens their lives.
And so some white man with a mustache
Right, he's
to
like,
rival
I'll help
Cheech.
you.
That was a
Right? That was a
mustache.
stash.
Yeah, he offers to help, but she got to help him
I know.
first.
Ew. They're all so grimy.
Yeah.
It's the grime for
The
me,
smell.
though. Not the grime.
Oh, no, not the grime.
At least it's organic.
And Rodrigo intercepts and they leave. And Rodrigo's like, nobody's going to help us. And then the church bells chime.
Right. The Holy Mother will help us. And the church bells chime and they go up there to the church and they're doing a movie night or day.
And like, is that a thing? In 1916, the church got its hands on silent films?
Probably.
And just did a movie night?
Because it's not like they were objectionable, although
No.
there was quite a few objectionable movies in those days because
Oh.
of course the first thing that we did once we could make moving pictures was pornography.
Terrible things. Oh, yeah, pornography.
Oh, and terrible things. Yeah, like animal abuse and pornography was like right up there.
Of course. And so they sit down all enamored by the three amigos up on
Right.
screen. We ride,
We
we
ride,
fight,
we
we love.
And on like these white ass horses, they save the little town in the movie.
And she immediately goes to send a telegraph off to Hollywood.
Right.
Asking the
To
amigos
Goldsmith
to come.
Pictures in Hollywood, California.
And like, Carmen,
Really?
Fabian.
What made you think that this was like? I get
Everything about this exchange.
Movies are new, and you maybe thought it was a sign because you was talking about like Holy Mother and like the church bells, and you saw it at the church. But like, well, yeah, but they could only do the 10 peso version. They do like the 23 peso version, which is like, you're great. We need you to come down here and like go up against El Guapo. He's terrible. He's evil. And
Right.
he tells them like, we'll say infamous.
But then he doesn't even say to stop the infamous
No.
El Guapo. It just says the
It just says
infamous El
stop.
Guapo. Right. He left
'cause
out
he
the
thinks
word
it's a-
stop.
right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
So yeah, they get the $10 version or $10 peso version. And like, okay, so if it costs 10 pesos just to send a telegram, 100,000 pesos is not.
Well, it doesn't matter because they're going to refuse it.
Oh, because that's what they did in the movie.
Right. Because
They threw
again,
it back.
because she's an idiot.
Right.
She's a complete and total fabulous. She's like, oh, it's fine, Rodrigo. He's like, we don't have 100,000 pesos. She's like, don't worry about it.
They're not going to take it anyway.
Yeah, that's like they did in the movie we just saw that one time for the first time
10 minutes ago when I made this
when
decision.
I rode in on a donkey.
And cut to Goldsmith Pictures in Hollywood.
Yep.
Where Flugelman has the three amigos in front of him and he's talking to him about getting back to basics. They did some weird side projects.
Nobody wanted to see the three amigos go to Manhattan.
Wealthy Spanish landowners is what
Right.
they're supposed
They
to
like
be
to-
that help
right.
peasants.
Right. And we strayed from the formula. But now we could go do this thing down in Baja. We'll shoot in 8 days. And like,
And Lucky's like,
hold on a second. That'll be the day.
they got to get
They're
money.
like, what? And he's like, no dough, no
show, exactly.
And Flugelman's like, what did you say?
Yeah. He's like, are you not living in the studio mansion? Are you
Right?
not
Do you
wearing
know what
clothes from
nada
wardrobe?
means?
Yeah, exactly.
He was like, they're in the studio mansion. You're kicked out of the studio mansion. You're out of there. Where'd you get those clothes? From wardrobe? Those outfits.
They're cute little like newsy
know.
outfits or whatever. And they
Their
get
saddle shoes.
straight kicked off the lot.
In their underpants. They're stripped. The three amigos all history.
And like, how come they got to keep the hats? They came with the hats.
The socks, the shoes,
socks,
the
spats.
hats, and ties and collars. The starched separate
That's
collar.
so weird.
I mean, it
Separate
was
collar.
1916.
I don't know how clothes were in
I
1916.
don't know how clothes worked back then.
And a telegram arrives just at that moment.
Right. He's like, I know showbiz. Something always turns up, and sure as shit,
And
telegram
oh.
for the three amigos.
And they open and read this redacted version of the original message and think, oh, well.
What's infamous?
And they don't know the meaning of the word
And
infamous.
he was like, no, that's like when you're more famous than famous. He
like,
was
oh,
like,
he's
I
a
bet
big
you,
actor in Mexico then.
right, out of Mexico. And it's like, wow. Chevy Chase over there, wow. Infamous. Infamous. Like,
And
he
how did
just
they even
heard it.
get there? They have no money.
Well, I don't know.
They're poor and homeless, and they said they made it sound like the studio doesn't pay them. Period. That they were doing
like
these
they
movies
just
for free.
the studio system would be that way, I suppose.
The fact that we
They
house
own
you
them.
and give you clothes and made you famous, like
Right.
that's what you get. You eat here.
That's
you
what
sleep
you
here.
get. You eat here, you sleep here, you live here, you die here.
Yep. And
Most
you
of the
belong
time.
to us, and all your
You
intellectual
belong
property
to
belongs to us.
All your shit belong to us.
So they break back into wardrobe to get their costumes.
Right. They wait
And
until
this whole
dark and they
scene-
get
Lucky
still in their
goes-
underwear.
Yeah, still in their underwear because again, they don't even have
They
a
don't
place to
have-
go or
they
any
have
other
nowhere to go.
clothes. So I don't know how they flew to Mexico, but I guess they don't have to fly from California to Mexico.
No, if they're in Hollywood, that's
they
like
hitchhiked, I guess.
I guess if they were dressed as
In
the
those
three
outfits,
amigos,
yeah.
like if people knew who they were,
You're
they
gonna
made
fit
a lot
three
of
of those
movies.
hats in a car. Must have been a convertible. Hitchhiked in a convertible. You said yourself when you brought the
That's
sombrero
true.
over. Try to
That's
fit
true.
3 of them in your car. They don't
Yeah.
fold.
Nope,
They don't roll.
fold.
They
You'd have to
stiff.
sit on a very long motorcycle.
They got one of those bicycles for 3.
Oh, on a bicycle built for three.
No, they would have left that scene in because that would have been hilarious.
I know. That would have been hilarious. That would have been too bad. Too bad. Missed opportunity.
Yeah. So instead, Lucky gets up on the wall to try to sneak in, and this whole scene where
With
he's
the
doing
bird,
the
like,
bird call, whippoorwill, whippoorwill.
Hey, hey,
Look at me, look at me,
look at me. Look at me. You guys.
Hey, you guys! He's just finally like they're in right
'Cause they're,
below
like,
him. They're so
Looking
dumb.
around, like whatever. 'Cause-
Talk about Fabiennes.
well.
And security catches them in wardrobe, but they use the ropes to swing down
Yes,
across the
and
room.
Out they go. They make it away.
And then we see we're back in Mexico, and this German pilot shows up to the cantina.
Yep. In the same cantina, looking for El Guapo. He's got something that he wants, and he's waiting for some friends,
And
and they
some dude
most
starts-
certainly will know him.
They keep some dude in the background keeps commenting on this pretty little gun.
Right? He's like, pow!
Where'd you get that pretty little gun? Why don't you come sit on my lap?
I know.
Like you're
Is it
brave,
the same
dude.
fucking guy?
The mustache guy? I think it might have
It
been.
was the same
I think
fucking
it might have
guy.
been.
He just can't help himself. He
Gotta
just-
say fucking
It's
something.
the mustache.
Are you one of those people? One of those people that's just gotta say fucking something? Shh.
Don't.
Shh. Take a beat. Swallow it. You don't
Take
need
a
to say
beat,
that.
Beat your meat. I don't know.
There you go. Go jork your Pete. So yeah, so
Privately.
he shoots that dude.
Right. Now it's like, oh shit.
And the bartender ducks, people start getting out of the way, and then he shoots a bunch of dudes, and they're all like,
And this bartender, his name is Fred Asparagus.
I saw that. What a name.
Fred Asparagus.
It's got to be a show name, right? Like, is
would
anybody's
you
real last
choose
name
it?
Asparagus?
Asparagus.
Oh, God. No, I can say it correctly. Unlike my mother. I think she does it now because she
I
knows
know,
it bothers
'cause
me. I think she could say asparagus.
She could do it if
She
she
chooses
wanted
not to because she
does.
knows it's like nails on a chalkboard to me. She likes to watch me gag a little every time she says asparagus, and I'm like, Mom, why?
Why do you do it?
I love you, but why?
Why do you do it?
So yes, he shoots these dudes, and he's like, "Look, I got friends coming, and they're
I
not
hope
as
you'll be
nice as me."
Yeah, I hope you'll be nicer to them because they're not as nice as I am. And they're dragging
bodies off, and
the bodies off. And like right as the German leaves and walks down the street, here comes the coach with
full
the
of
three amigos.
So that's how they got there in a coach, but
In
I
a
don't know how they
coach.
paid for it.
Stagecoach.
Yes,
They figured they were.
I
don't
guess
know.
just because they were famous. I don't
I
know.
guess.
So they enter the cantina and saunter up to the bar, and everybody immediately
like, oh,
thinks
shit.
these are the friends because he said you'll know them when you see them.
Right, because they also have pretty little guns.
They sure do. Excuse us, we're not Mexicans.
Yeah.
Like, you
No
need to just
shit.
say that?
No shit.
And is it not Steve Martin who says that? I can't remember.
think so.
Like the whitest of all of them. We're from out of town.
Yeah. We're supposed to be doing a personal appearance or something like that.
And they ask for a hotel, and they're like, "There's no hotel in this town."
here. It's like, well, while we're waiting, oh, we have a message for you. Mm-hmm. Your friend was here. We have a message for you. He said to wait here.
And they're like, "Oh,
Oh, well, I guess while we're waiting, we might as well have some beer. We don't have any beer, only tequila.
what's tequila?
It's like beer, right?
We'll take 3 of those."
Right.
And they do that
That
the
they
physical
do the
comedy
shot,
thing with
then
their
I'll
shot.
take the beat and like, ha! And
Do a
then-
spaz out moment.
Right. So now they're like, wow, God, everyone's really grim. Like everyone's probably really intimidated.
Because yes, they think everybody in this little town knows the
Knows
3
who they are.
amigos.
Exactly. And like they're like, come on, Dusty, like get on that piano.
Yeah, go play that
We'll
piano.
we'll do a little number.
And Lucky and Ned start up.
My little buttercup has the sweetest smile.
Sweet little buttercup.
Can you
stay a
while?
Oh, and they do this adorable little
Oh my gosh.
choreographed dance together and little taps. And then when they're done, everyone just looks terrified and nobody
Right?
claps.
They're
They're
like-
just stunned.
Right, they're all flabbergasted, and then that's when like they come out and they see the plane take off. Right, like,
Right.
is
And
this-
Ned recognizes it like, oh, when I was in Little Nettie Goes to War.
Is this before or after? Oh no, because they do. They make everybody like everybody join in, and they like. they have
Yes,
to
during the Little Buttercup
smile.
song. Yes.
Oh my
A while. Because they're like terrified. They're making him sing along.
My little buttercup.
Chevy Chase with his weird Kermit singing.
Oh no, that was Fred.
Or no, yeah.
Asparagus.
That was Fred. That's right at the end. When Chevy Chase sings later, he's got that. Yes. And so, yeah, they're looking at the plane and he goes, Ned tells him it's a mail plane. And they're like,
Right,
how
they're
can
like-
you tell?
He's like, didn't you see the little balls?
And he keeps, and they're just like,
like,
huh?
"What?"
And he's like,
Because they're looking still. They're like,
he's like to
like,
himself,
"God,
like
the little
dying
balls."
laughing. The little balls.
mail plane. And they laugh, but they still don't get what the fuck that he's talking about.
So as they exit the cantina, the Germans' real friends come up.
Right. And the guy from X-Files is
Yes, the
alien
jawline
X-
guy,
yeah, the
whatever.
jawline guy that wasn't with the whoosh. He had the little
Flat top.
The little with the neck and the tss.
And because everybody in the bar thinks that the 3 amigos were the mean guys,
Right.
they
They're like, oh, cute outfits.
look
or
at these
something
little
like-
sissies.
Yeah, look at the sissies.
And they just start shooting
Bla-
everybody.
Anyway, they start blasting.
Exactly. And the bartender's like, this town's getting too rough.
Yeah, it's too rough for me. So
So-
now Rodrigo tells Carmen that the 3 amigos have arrived.
Yes, they rush over and greet them. And she's like, oh, I'll take you to Santa Poco.
Right.
So she puts all 3 of them on,
On
one
one
horse.
donkey.
Or I thought theirs was a horse and
Or
she was
like
on a
maybe
donkey.
It was a mule or at least a bigger donkey because it was
It was
3 of
bigger
them
than
on one.
hers, yeah.
And she was on the same donkey. And back they go to the village of Santa Poco.
And now, if Dusty had shut up and let the patriarch of this family read his little speech, they probably would have figured out right away
That's
that
what
this
was
is not
going
an
on,
acting job because his
Right.
speech was going to be about
what they
thank
were
you
there
for
to
coming
do.
to save our town type
Exactly.
of deal. But he's like, no.
He's an asshole.
Oh, you need
He has to
my autograph? I feel like this is just him being Chevy Chase.
He's all winking at him like,
yeah. Oh,
it's no big deal.
he probably just did that and they
The
kept
kid
it.
runs up like, can I have your watch when you are dead?
Dead, yes. That little boy is so cute. And I feel like he was in other stuff.
I feel like you're
His
right.
face was
He
familiar
looks
to me.
familiar.
And so they eat with the family that night.
And there seems to be quite a lot of Mexican villagers in a small village that speak English.
Oh, yeah. In 1916?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or read English.
In fact, you
speak and
almost
read
hear
English.
no Spanish. Like
No.
very little Spanish is spoken in this movie.
In Mexico, there's very little Spanish.
And so they eat with the family, and Carmen's making eyes at Lucky across the table already.
He's like, hey, do you have anything besides
Mexican
Mexican
food?
food? Dusty.
Come on now.
You're in Mexico. I mean, I know no one's speaking Spanish. You might have forgotten.
Yes, exactly. And so they make them share one bed to sleep.
They sleep in one big bed, and they talk about
all the things they're going to do with their 100,000 pesos.
Well, first they talk about what the show is, and Rodrigo was hazy on the details, but it sounds like in a couple days, El Guapo rides in here like he owns the place, and then we like do a little thing and scare him off, run him off, or whatever. But I'm not sure. And then they talk about what are you going to do with your money.
And they have really overestimated, I think, how much 100,000 pesos was converted.
They probably don't know.
No.
They probably...
Well, they're talking about doing all kinds of crazy stuff.
Who knows? Was that a lot of money in 1960?
Well, I don't know. Like I said, it cost 10 pesos to send a telegram.
That's also true.
So if it cost 10 pesos just to send a telegram...
It was like $5.
Yeah.
It was like the Ren and Stimpy thing where they do everything for $5.
Like, I feel like it was not $100,000. I feel like it was $10,000 maybe to split between three people.
Not even that.
To be generous, let's just say $10,000 split between
generous.
three. But I guess in 1916, that'd still be a lot of money.
Quite a bit of coin.
So I don't know. But
I don't know.
But you know me, I'm bad at math.
That's also true. I don't know the conversions.
So now El Guapo's dudes, we see El Guapo's guys hanging out drinking, and they're out of tequila.
Oh, yes.
So they got to go back to Santa Poco.
Oh, they'll be happy to see us.
And get more tequila.
Right. And the ladies are there doing their washing, and like they ask Carmen, which one do you like the best? She's like, I like the one that's not so smart.
And they're all,
like,
which one is that? And then here come the banditos. So they're like, fuck. So they run back to get the amigos who are just getting up and getting dressed.
Right. And they're like, what? There's no rehearsal? Like, I guess,
wow, okay. I guess we're just jumping right
whatever.
into this. Oh, it would be $6,000, 100,000 pesos in 1916. So $2,000 a piece.
Well,
but again, not for the type of things they were talking about doing.
That's true. No, go to Paris. I don't know how much that would cost. Take a boat.
Yeah, I don't know.
They'd have to get to New York first and then sail to Paris. Big shiny car, maybe.
Maybe.
Foundation for homeless children. Oh, I was going to do that too.
Oh, yeah. Sure, of course.
So they get down there and they like totally confuse these banditos.
Well, and I mean, I got to give them credit for this jump onto the horses in a single leap.
Never, ever do that shit. You want to get kicked?
Because, I don't think horses appreciate that.
Right in the dick. Unless that horse has been trained, don't ever rush up on a horse from behind.
Don't try to Three Amigos a horse.
No, that shit's no joke.
So, they're confusing him, riding around in a circle, and slime-eating dogs.
Right. You
Scum
son of a
pigs.
motherless goat.
And they're like, looking at each other, the banditos,
Son
like,
of a
did he
motherless
just call me
goat?
fucking
What the fuck?
Wherever there is injustice, you will find us.
Wherever there is suffering, we'll be there.
Wherever? Line.
Wherever liberty is threatened, you will find
the Three Amigos. And they ride around, shooting in the air. And they ride off to tell, because they're just confused. They're not afraid of them. They're like, what is happening?
Them? Like, nah. Let's go back and tell
let's go tell
what we saw here.
So all the villagers are like, Viva los amigos.
Yes, we're safe.
You're magnificent. So they get it back and they tell El Guapo. And he's over there setting up a
photography.
camera. Doing like photo shoots with Jefe and the girls. Like, what was that setup? It was almost like a genie, like a
right, or like a Sinbad scene, like a pirate. Something or other. I don't know.
El Guapo should have been an artist.
I know. He was misused. Well, maybe that's why he took stop the violence.
Put the violence in your art.
Create.
You don't have to be violent,
Don't
but you can show us
destroy.
violence with your art.
Right? You can use your photography and just stage the violence.
So they tell him about these dudes, and he's like, I'm going to find them, open their stomachs, grab their intestines, and squeeze the shit out of them.
Gross. Guapo?
Yeah, gross,
bro.
So then he goes back to taking his photos.
Yeah, and now it's like fiesta time. There's like fireworks and music and dancing.
And Martin Short always finds a reason to do that
to
dance.
Do that Ed
in
Grimley
everything
dance.
he's in.
Ed Grimley, Frank, Clifford.
Yep.
All the time. Anytime
All the time.
he can. So Martin Short, he's doing the dance. Dusty's playing that Spanish guitar. But
and that's why I wrote that's a weird Kermit voice. It's not even words.
Nope.
It's just like
and he's
sounds.
not even playing either. He's
No.
just like kind of.
And Lucky shows off his lasso skills.
He learned those when he worked at Disneyland when he was a
Oh,
teenager.
he really did. He knows how to do that?
He learned it
Nice,
at Disneyland.
Nice.
When he worked there looking like a 40-year-old man with like 3 kids
when he
and a
was
mortgage.
like 18.
It's funny that Steve Martin, like one of the quintessential dads, didn't become a dad until the year I became a parent.
Really?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
He has a kid the same age as my kid.
Wow. I never really thought about it.
Never had any kids
Interesting.
until then.
And we've got another Martin short coming up this year, right? Aren't we doing Parenthood?
Yeah. Yeah.
We were going to do The Jerk, but I
No,
feel like
Steve
it got
Martin.
moved. I mean, Steve Martin.
I know.
Steve
Martin, Martin Short.
I know. It's
Uncle Martin.
Yes. They're all one Uncle Martin, especially because now they do that Only Murders in the Building together.
Oh,
they
yeah,
do
that's
that like
true.
stand-up tour type of deal together. So yeah, they're all one, just Uncle Martins in my mind.
Do you saw, what is it, Martin Short and Meryl Streep out there hitting the town?
Yes. I'm like, get it, Martin.
I know.
Because she's still looking good.
I mean.
And he looks kind of the same. Like,
he really does. Just
he's got obviously some signs of aging, but he's not
clearly.
like falling apart. Not that
No.
I'm all hot for Martin Short, but like
that face. He makes that
oh my
face
God,
at
he
you.
makes fucking Clifford face in bed.
Oh.
Oh, you're like, just stop.
He does that little
That's part of their
dance to
thing.
come over to you.
Oh my God. I think it would be fun for a little while and then it would get
Like
old.
once or twice, but it's like not every time.
If he's like, because it seems like he's like that just all the time.
Probably.
Like that's not him being on. Like I think that's just
maybe
him.
that works because it's not like you have to, like, I don't have to get hot for you.
Right?
We could just sit
We
around,
just hang out and
laughing our
have
asses
fucking.
off.
Yeah, they're old. Why not?
Like I'm into that kind of companionship.
That could be totally cool. So anyway,
Anyhow,
so yeah, he goes, Dusty's getting flirted with, and she's like, "Oh, would you like to kiss me?"
oh yeah, you can kiss me out on the veranda, and he's like, "On the lips."
The
would
lips
fine."
will be fine.
And like Ned's telling the children about how he met Dorothy Gish,
And
Lillian's
they're just looking
sister.
at him like I look at you when you tell me those stories
I
about
know.
old actors, and I'm
that's
just like
exactly who this is. They're
crickets.
Old. She's like Lillian Gish was like an old
Yeah.
silent movie.
And they have that blank look on their face, like,
Like
huh?
she said, "You young man, have it." And all the kids are like, "Cool."
Blank stares. So in the morning after the party, the church bell rings.
It's like right outside their window. Like we'll get
Yeah.
another room next time.
they wake up all hungover and groggy,
And El Guapo himself,
and all
Oh,
his
shit.
men are there. They must ride against him now.
right? And they're like, "Now, well, fuck. I thought we gotta do the show again."
And they get ready for show number 2.
Right? He's like, "It's nice working with you."
Yeah, and they're already so confused. And Lucky starts with the same insults, whatever.
These slimy dogs, son
Yeah.
of a motherless goat.
And they do their little introduction, and
Tell
Ned's
us
like,
we'll die like dogs.
and Dusty's like, no, we will fight. And so they say it.
Yeah,
It's like,
we'll
we'll
fight
fight
like
like lions. And we're the 3 amigos. And they do their fucking salute, which I used to do as a kid. And like, why is it like a fucking getting your balls checked
I
cough
know,
that they
like,
do
I
at the
don't
end
know.
with that little pelvic thrust?
It's just a pelvic that really drives you insane.
And they try to do the same thing, run around shooting their guns in
and
the
they're like-
air, but it
he's
has
like,
no
I like
effect.
These guys, these are
Yeah.
fun. They're funny.
And he's like, just kill one of them.
Right. So they shoot at Lucky and it grazes his arm. He's
And he
like,
falls off
"Hold
his
on.
horse.
Ow!
He walks
me
over
see
the,
that.
give me that gun.
Let me see that. Oh, real bullets. You're in big trouble, mister.
I'm keeping this bullet.
I'm keeping this.
And then he finally starts to realize the gravity of the situation and goes
Right.
back to the other boys and is like,
It's like,
hey,
they're going to kill us.
is this real? They're going to kill us. And they all start,
They cry.
what are we going to do?
What am I doing in Mexico?
And Lucky's like,
I've been shot already.
let me talk to them man to man. He's like all through tears.
Right. So they explain to El Guapo they're actors.
Sorry.
Carmen.
Sorry, we want to go home.
Yeah, like I don't want to die. You don't want to die like dogs? Well, if we can avoid that part.
And Carmen hears them, and
Of
they try to
course,
do
duh.
My Little Buttercup for El
They're like-
Guapo. Yes.
So
So yeah, he's like, oh, I only kill men, not crying women. So go.
go get out of here. So they run,
And take their horses and take off like cowards.
right? And Santa Poco, you were foolish to try to stop El Guapo. Carmen, you hurt my feelings, Carmen.
And he gives her the eyebrow waggle. Buenos dias, señorita.
El Guapo, lower those eyebrows.
See, Jefe, a rose can bloom in the desert. Lights his cigar on some dynamite. And Santa Poco is no longer under my protection. He
Yep.
scoops Carmen up.
It's El Jefe's now.
The town is yours, muchachos. And
Right.
Jefe, they start blowing all the shit up. The
They
church,
bomb and burn the town.
chase the people, shoot in the air, fucking crazy chaos.
Yep.
And before we find out whether the villagers can repair their village and
Right.
where the three amigos went, we're going to take a quick break.
Let's do it.
We'll be right back. And we're back.
We are back, and the three amigos are riding through all of this devastation.
Yeah, the villagers are cleaning up the rubble when they saunter back into town, tail between their legs.
Yeah, and they go back up to Carmen's house. Like,
Can
can we get our
things?
stuff?
What things?
No,
they came
but
with like
there's
the clothes
no
on their
things.
backs.
Right? First of all, they didn't have anything. I guess they had pajamas.
Apparently.
But, like, other than that, and, like, you don't have anything. El Guapo took everything. He's like, well, where's Carmen? He took her, too.
So Lucky and Dusty are ready to go back to Hollywood, but Ned's like loading his gun.
What are we going back for? What do we have to go back for? The three amigos are dead here.
No jobs, no money, no place to live, no
Right.
family, no women, no self-respect. And they're like, whoa,
Whoa,
hang on.
hey. And he's like, well, we could be three amigos down here for real.
I'm drawing a line in the sand.
And he sure do. Are men or mice?
What'll it be?
What'll it be?
Lucky straps on his little hat cord.
Yes.
and crosses the line, does a little gun spin.
Uh-huh. And Dusty, after much consideration.
And shooting himself in the foot with a blank, crosses the line. And
Right.
they do their salute,
Yep. And they ride.
hop on their horses, and ride off into the desert.
Right? Which they stole those horses. It's not like those were there.
And then and I had a note, but then I erased it because they address it, where I was like, how do they know where they're going? And then it's like, they only
There's like a
rode
whole-
3 to 4 miles before we had to turn back and ask for directions.
Yes.
So that night, they're camping out under the stars.
Oh, I love this
This scene is
painted
so...
backdrop.
It gives me
the-
like Pee-wee.
Yes.
It gives
Uh-huh.
me natural history museum
Yes.
set
Very
up.
much
So like
that.
Encino
like they're
Man
sitting
kind
behind
of.
glass.
Yes, yeah, like they're part of a display of like the
Well,
Old
that
West.
is also like that those old movies would be painted backdrops
Right.
and like
So it looked like that, yeah.
you know, built cactuses and pelts.
And Ned caught bats for dinner.
Yes, it's bacon.
It's bacon.
It's like bacon jerky or
I
something.
always remembered the sound of them trying to crunch
Oh,
the
like,
wings on the bat.
your
and
wings?
yeah,
like
trying
gnawing
to
on
gnaw
it.
it. And so the directions they were given were go east until you come to the singing bush, say the magic chant,
Yep.
fire one shot in the air, which summons the invisible swordsman, and he will show you to El Guapo. And my note is this how people normally get to the village where El Guapo is?
Right?
Why
it's like
can't
a
you
mission
just give them
out
directions?
in the middle of nowhere.
It's an existing mission they took over. It's not a
Right?
magical location.
No.
Why would
Whose
any of
idea
this
was
need to
this? Like it was
happen?
just El Guapo's idea to be like mystical.
Right?
The legendary El Guapo.
Like it changes spots every time. Like even El Guapo and
Changes
his men have to go find the singing. Like once they killed the invisible swordsman right here.
I know, no one's
everybody's
ever
fucked.
going to be able
It's
to get
lost
there
now.
again.
Yeah.
That's what happens to everybody at the end because I was like, well, they're still out there. Like
Yeah.
they could still go out there and do
Yeah.
like fucking whatever.
So before all that happens, so they're trying to get ready to go to sleep.
Right.
Coyote
He's-
howls in the distance.
And Ned is startled. He's never slept outside before.
And so Dusty plays him a lullaby on his guitar.
Arizona moon.
Keep shining. So yeah, so they sing this song, and like the part that I remember the most part is the little cowboy.
Yes.
I can't even remember the tune now.
Little cowboy, close your eyes and dream.
And so they sing him a little song about being a cowboy. And the horses are doing
They're
backup
singing
vocals. The animals are bopping along.
Yes, the desert creatures are vibing. The tortoise and the coyote and the owl.
And yeah, they all say goodnight to each other. And the next day, they're dying in the heat of the desert sun.
Yes, it's the middle of the day in a flat, hot desert. They're weak. There's no water for Lucky.
Yeah,
There's
Lucky pulls out
sand
his
and Ned's.
cantina. He's got 2 drops.
And Dusty's over there a chug-a-lugging and drops it.
Again, I feel like
He's
this is just
gargling
Chevy
and
Chase.
spitting it out, right? Probably.
He just throws it in
He's
the
even
dirt.
got lip balm.
Yes. Oh, lip balm.
Lip balm.
He like offers it to them. They're just looking
They're
at
like,
him.
I mean, yeah, I'll have some, I guess.
And so they come upon the singing bush in a ravine.
Hello, my baby. Hello,
Well, first it's I'll be
She'll
coming around the mountain when she comes. She'll be coming around the mountain. And it sings insane.
Yeah.
And they're trying to talk to it, and it doesn't
It
talk.
like will not shut up. It's just doing
blow, blow, blow the man down.
Yeah. They do their little chants, right? That's like,
Oh
chip,
my
chip, chip,
God.
chip, chip.
Nanny! Shoot! Farley, 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 far.
Shoot.
And then I couldn't even write down what Chevy Chase says.
Shoot.
And he shoots to the side.
I know, and shoots,
Kills
fucking
the invisible
swordsman. Oh no.
Now they will never find El
Fucking
Guapo.
falls in the dirt, and
Yes.
then he like picks up his wrist and drops it.
It was amazing.
I should have looked up how they did that,
Yeah.
because that was pretty impressive.
1986 this is?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but they see a
The
red
Tuppen
flame.
601.
A red flame. Plane.
Red flames. Flames.
Flames. I was watching Clue earlier.
I know.
And yeah, they see it fly over and decide to follow it.
Right. I bet that's heading to El Guapo. So mount up.
So a big ass pinata is being delivered to El Guapo.
It's El Guapo's birthday, and he's wanting Carmen, who would sooner die.
And
She's like,
that other lady is like coaching her.
Conchita's like, let me prepare you. Do you know what foreplay is?
No.
Oh, good. Neither does El Guapo.
So they're having many pinatas delivered.
Right. Has
Jefe
the
tells
German
him.
arrived? He's got the only presents I want. Guns.
Oh, well, you'll like your other presents. We have lots of pinatas.
In the storeroom with lots of little surprises.
Would you say I have a
plethora
of
of pinatas?
A
A what? A plethora.
Oh, yes.
it's
You have a plethora.
What is
I was
it?
like, yeah, what does that mean?
What does that mean? It's a movie that taught all of us
The word plethora.
what a plethora of anything.
Even though he
plethora of
doesn't ever
pinatas.
actually explain.
No, not really.
But he does have a plethora of pinatas,
does
so you know the
indeed.
definition.
I would hate to have someone tell me I have a plethora of pinatas.
And Jefe's like, could it be that this is because you are turning 40 today?
Oh, no.
Or that Carmen chooses to sleep in her cell?
Instead of with you.
Just take her, El Guapo.
Oh, you don't understand women.
You cannot open the petals of a flower.
You have to wait until she opens her flower to you.
When do you think Carmen will open her flower to you?
Tonight, or I'll kill her.
And the German arrives right on time.
Of course, because he's German.
And the Amigos leave their horses. They've now arrived. They go
Right.
sneak a peek.
They go to scope it out, and it's impossible. He's like, well, we'll just have to use our brains.
Damn it. El Guapo, here come the guns. And the
Right.
German and his pals arrive with the crates. German loads one of the guns, hands it to El
He's like,
Guapo.
who's that? That's Paco. Hey, Paco,
Who's the guy on the roof?
hold your hat out. Higher.
And then
Higher.
just shoots the
Just
man off the
shoots him.
roof. And he's pleased and invites the Germans to stay for the party.
And there is indeed a plethora of pinatas, and they
Yes.
shoot him.
Mm-hmm.
And so now Dusty, they go sneaking around the side, and Dusty's going to throw a rock to distract the guy up on the wall. But he just like throws
Clobbers
it
him
at
with
his
the
head.
rock. Yeah.
Like task failed successfully.
And so they go, okay, now they're going to climb the wall and they grab the like pinata ropes to swing
Right.
down.
Yeah, and like Dusty ends up in Carmen's room.
Ned gets his feet stuck or his spurs stuck in a pinata and is just
Fucking
stuck
lucky.
above the fucking
Did
thing.
not measure it right and just plop like
Just falls in the dirt in front of the banditos. So Lucky demands El Guapo stop hassling Santa Poco and that they
Right.
change their government to the three
Right.
branches of government.
legislative, judicial, executive.
And they're like, what? Because he's like, and the girl Carmen be returned to me unharmed. And El Guapo was like, why did you come? Now I have to kill you. Like, what are you fucking talking about?
I liked you. Why are you making me do this?
Yeah. So now, it's time for the party. Lucky's taken to the dungeon, and he's trying to like unionize El Guapo's men or
he's
something
trying to talk
against
him.
him.
He's like, no, you need a new system.
Like, you don't have to work for him.
And Guapo's out here doing his little dance with Conchita.
The Germans are loving this fucking party.
Oh, I
They are
know.
so amused by this.
And Ned is up there just watching
still
all
up
of it.
there. How tired are his arms?
I know. He's just stretched out. Well, it's because he don't weigh nothing.
That's
but like,
true.
He weighs but like a loaf of bread. He's about 108.
Yep. So Dusty's in there telling Carmen the plan, which is just to break in, and that was it.
We didn't have a plan to escape, and now like the guard is sleeping.
And I don't know why they just didn't go, but
I know.
instead Dusty's like hesitating on knocking him out with his gun, and so Carmen
just does it. She's like, take his clothes so you could walk around
unnoticed or
whatever as a disguise.
So Lucky gets shackled up in the dungeon on this weird like pulley weight system where they leave the keys for him, where if he can get to them,
come and get them, Guarito,
that he can have them. So we had a whole off and on thing
so
of him.
Just wait here then.
Right. They still are not really taking this as seriously as they should be.
Right.
So Dusty tells Carmen to go get horses and be ready to meet them.
Right.
And saunters just right out into this fucking party. Like, I don't know what his plan was.
He goes down to the courtyard without, I guess, because he was in disguise.
I guess. But he gets pushed right up to the front of the group.
Right. He's standing there by the table where Jefe decides to toast El Guapo.
On his 33rd birthday.
He says, today he is. And Guapo looks at him and he's like, 33 years old.
The boys chipped in and we got you a gift. And this gift
is a sweater.
In the deserts of Mexico in the 1900s. It's a big ass
nice
thick sweater. It is a nice
sweater.
He does seem to like it.
He really loves it. He's very pleased.
And Lucky's still in his cell trying to reach the keys. Gonna make it. Never make it.
Never make it.
He slams him back into the wall. And then El Guapo's got the sweater tied around his shoulders, giving this speech.
Thank all his men. He's like, I know each of you like I know my own smell. Again, gross, Guapo.
Ew. And he goes to name them all, and Jose, and I don't know. Dusty was Jose. Yeah. So he names all the other ones.
Jose. And we burned the village.
And raped the horses.
And rode off on the women.
Plundered and pruned the hedges of many small villages.
Who the hell are you?
Another one of the goddamn gringos. Are gringos falling from the sky? And then bam, here comes Ned doing exactly that.
Falls on the table. Now we have them all.
But the German knows Ned.
He's like, hold up. I know that man. That's Ned Nederlander, my favorite silver screen movie star.
He's my hero. I've seen all his films. He inspired me to learn the art of the quick draw.
Even little Nettie Knickers. And I wanted to be just like him, but then
I found out about movie tricks.
No, I didn't. I really did. I really am that fast. Like, let's do it. Go get a stopwatch. He's like, no,
for real.
We play for keeps.
And so El Guapo keeps Dusty there, just in case you want to see your friend die. And he goes, I've seen it.
I've seen it.
Like, what the fuck?
Lucky finally frees himself.
Yes.
And he's like stuck in the halls, but the German is serious, and like Jefe gives Ned another gun. He's like, if you're going to die.
A gigantic gun that like weighs half his body weight.
He can barely lift it.
That's not a good gun for him.
Not for a quick draw.
But when he does, so Lucky's out on top of the wall and sees this happen. And when Ned does draw and shoot this German.
He shoots him first and he flies
kicks his ass all the way back into the horse.
And like the gun flies up and
Lucky catches it, starts shooting.
And Dusty pulls out a knife and like whoosh.
And they threaten El Guapo that he's going to be so full of lead, he'll be using his dick as a pencil. And he's like,
what do you mean?
I don't know. I don't know. So Lucky gets them all the banditos to throw down their guns.
Not you, Dusty.
Lie down and put your hands behind your heads.
Right. Ned, open the gates.
And here comes Carmen with the horses, and they ride off.
Uh-huh.
And Ned tells him not to touch those guns. And of course, El Guapo immediately is like, fucking
get
kill them.
Ride, amigos, ride.
And they come across that plane.
Well, Conchita runs out holding the sweater.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
They find the plane like, oh, good, Ned.
You know how to fly this, right?
He's like, well, no, my stuntman did, but I'm pretty sure I can do it.
And like really an amigo on each wing? It's not even a big enough plane. I know. How fucking scary.
People would do that all the time, right? Isn't that back from the time when people would be doing the
just
Charleston
hanging
out on the goddamn biplane wing?
Oh, my God. It's insane.
Wing walkers.
And they have a scary chase, and
he's
then
screaming. Like they finally get there, they see Santa Poco, and he manages to land safely,
surprisingly safely.
Right?
Yes,
a smooth-ish landing.
So
the tres amigos.
They rally all the villagers to come and fight, but like their main skill is sewing.
Right. Like, well, what can you do really well? And he's like, sewing. He's like, oh shit.
Oh, but remember, amigos.
Right. Do you think that will work?
It's our only hope.
Right. So they all get to work.
They sew like the wind.
Yes. So, old woman, so like the wind.
And now Guapo and his men arrive. And where's the plane? They moved the plane. Like, they weren't that far behind them. It didn't seem like it was that far from their village. Like, there's no time.
Because they caught up to the plane in the first place.
Yeah.
The Amigos caught up to the plane in the first place not that long.
Right.
To get to El Guapo's.
That's what I'm saying. So they had what? 10 minutes to sew.
They sew the fucking
They
house
sewed
down
the house.
boots,
Exactly.
bitch.
They all need to be on Drag Race.
So like the wind.
And so, because here comes El Guapo, and the plane's gone, the villagers are gone.
Right. It's like,
yoo-hoo, where are you?
yoo-hoo.
And shots come from the balcony.
There's pops,
Shots
shooting.
behind them.
They're everywhere. There's some over here. There's some over there.
They're on
over
all
here. They're
sides.
everywhere.
And the banditos start bailing on El Guapo because it
Right.
seems like there's like 100 amigos.
Well, they dig that fucking hole in those poor horses.
I know. You know they probably did that shit for real.
I mean, like they fell down. Mm-hmm. I always used to hate that when they would do that with the horses, when they make them like trip them up and like make them fall and shit. I know it's probably, I don't know, there's
trained
probably
to do
rules.
that, but still,
I mean, I'm sure by this time there was rules. If this had happened in 1916, they just would have fucking.
No, they just
They just would have fucking. They'd kill like 12 a day, a dozen a day.
By the way, I want a bean. I can't. It's still in my head. I tried to watch the new Wonka,
feast.
and I was so bored. I couldn't.
I mean,
I got
like
10
said,
minutes. I got to where he's there, and he does little floaty chocolates, and I was just not.
It's
feeling
not
it.
as good.
I did not even make it to a goddamn Oompa Loompa.
Okay.
Is that the trick? Is I got to make it to the Oompa Loompa?
Surprisingly, what's his tits? Excellent Oompa Loompa. Hugh Grant. Excellent Oompa Loompa.
Interesting.
He kind of
Maybe I'll
does
just watch
like
some
the
clips or
Gene
something.
Wilder, Willy Wonka thing
As
an Oompa Loompa.
So maybe that was his mentor. That Oompa Loompa
I don't know.
taught him to be.
Perhaps that's
that
where he
dude.
got that shit from. But anyway, that was my favorite part of the movie, really.
And so Jefe doesn't bail, and he's like, "I'm still here," and is immediately shot.
Promptly shot. And he like does that little bum bum bum. Like flips over and then falls.
And El Guapo's knocked off his horse and then shot, and all the amigos run out and surround him.
He's like, "Come here." Closer.
Shoots Lucky in the foot.
That was a good trick too.
And then just dies.
Right, he died.
So now everything's all fine,
Right.
and they're departing the village.
I'm gonna miss you, Senor Dusty.
Yeah,
Here,
little Pablo's gonna miss Dusty.
you can have my watch.
Gives him a little hug.
And they're like, "We are men without homes. We are meant
Yes.
to wander."
And Mama Sanchez, that's Dresden's grandma, tells them they always have a home there.
Right. And Lucky smooches on Carmen. He's like, "I'll come back one day." And she's like, "Why?"
Oh, I thought maybe you and I
You know, like a little.
and she's just like,
Oh, yeah, I guess so. Sure. Mhm.
And the hottest girl in town that you've never seen before
Nope.
appears
Until
to
now.
make out with
She
Ned.
comes to mack it on Ned. And like everyone's looking at him like, "Whoa, hey, whoa, hey.
What's up, Ned? So they get on their horses. Let's ride.
Oh, they give him the money, but no.
Yes.
Their
Ned gives it
reward
back.
is the justice done. And wherever there is injustice, you will find us. Wherever there is suffering,
We'll be there.
wherever liberty is threatened, you will find
The three amigos. Let's
ride! And
ride.
off into the sunset.
To where?
I don't
They
know.
have no jobs, no
They're
money,
men
no
without
home, no
homes. They're meant
families.
to wander.
Like they're
gonna
literally
die in the desert.
Yeah. I gave them 6 weeks after this. They're dead in the desert.
6 weeks. 6 weeks.
That's a lot, probably.
That's
giving them a lot of
generous.
credit.
Generous.
And I did that stupid salute for too
Oh,
long.
all
just
the
like
time.
I
Just
thought
all
that
the
was
time
so
and
funny.
everywhere.
Why? I don't
It
know.
is. I don't know.
But yeah, I did. The only thing I have about what it doomed me was that it's how we all learned about a plethora here.
Yeah, that's
Um,
very true.
I don't know, doomed
I mean, I don't know if that's the word.
to be amused by these three men forever.
Chevy Chase.
Yeah,
Chevy Chase.
doom,
Doom.
doom.
Chevy. Doom. Chase. Doom.
We're gonna need to. It's only 48 minutes.
Wow.
This movie went fucking fast.
Wow.
Because this is another one of those ones where it's a lot
You
of
kinda
physical
have to
comedy
see
gags. It's like you can't really
the
describe
faces.
it all. You gotta
the
watch it.
faces. You really do. You kind of have to see it.
Kim was talking about that, and of course I didn't watch it. That there's a Steve Martin documentary right now somewhere that's
Oh.
got. She said there's a lot of stuff with Martin Short and a lot of him talking about how apparently a lot of his movies were flops initially, and that he got a lot of shit about them not making a lot of money. But to me, Steve Martin was always a movie star, like
Well, yeah.
Parenthood and Father of the Bride and
Oh,
The
yeah.
Jerk, and I mean,
Yeah.
there was so many things.
Three Amigos.
And just Saturday Night Live.
Well,
'Cause
that
this was
too.
a Lorne Michaels production.
That's
of
right.
Course.
It was written in part by Steve Martin.
What was
and
the
Lorne Michaels.
first Lorne
and
Michaels
someone else.
movie? This wasn't it, was it? No, because they did Blues Brothers. Would have been way before this, probably.
Oh, that's true.
I feel like Blues Brothers might have been the first SNL movie.
Oh, maybe. What was the first SNL movie? Let's find out.
And there have been so many since. So many that you
know.
don't even really think about it.
What was the first SNL movie? Go. What was it? Tell me. Not the very first Saturday Night Live.
The first, what would you
Blues
call it?
Brothers.
Yeah, Blues Brothers. I
Yep.
was like, that seems right.
Yep.
What other, we've done Wayne's World. What
Yep.
other SNL movies have we done?
We have Coneheads coming up.
Oh, yeah. That's another
Oh
one.
my God, Stuart Saves His Family.
What's that? The Stuart from
Smalley. Mm-hmm.
the
I'm
Daily
good enough.
Affirmations guy.
Smart enough. Gosh darn it, people
People
like me.
me.
Coneheads, Wayne's World, It's Pat, Stuart Saves His Family, Night at the Roxbury, Superstar, Ladies Man. Oh, here we go. Wayne's World was the second one.
Oh, okay. Wow. It took that long between?
Uh-huh.
Well, but wait, this was before Wayne's World.
But this wasn't like a Saturday Night Live sketch.
Oh, that's true. They weren't characters from
No,
Saturday Night
these
Live,
are
so
all
it was like
characters
affiliated,
from- yeah.
but okay.
These are all characters from... The last one was Please Don't Destroy the Treasure of Foggy Mountain.
What? That's an
Girl.
SNL movie?
That's what it just said.
I would have thought it was MacGruber.
That was the second to last.
Okay, that one
was the
I've heard
second
of.
to last. So yeah, no. Please don't destroy the treasure of Foggy Mountain. Martin. Those are the writers. Who was in it? Martin Harrihay, John Higgins, and Ben Marshall. I don't know who's on there now.
So yeah, we have no yearbook signings this week. You guys, 702-720-3666.
Wow.
Send us some voicemails. Send us some text messages.
As your favorite SNL character.
Yeah, there you go. That'd be a good one. What else? Follow Patreon. Patreon.com/Doom Generation. We just released another spicy B-roll. We got Dead Heat. Will be coming out. Our first time watch commentary. We got new magnets of the new logo.
The
$3.
Terminator 2
Hit us up. You want a
logo.
magnet?
At least that's what I think it looks like.
Yeah, it does kind of look like
2
Terminator.
logo.
Yeah. And just hit us up all the ways. Follow us on Instagram. We haven't had a Apple review in a hot minute. If you guys want to
it's
leave us an
been
Apple review,
months.
it's been since October, you guys.
Oh, that's embarrassing.
It's a long time. So send us an Apple review. Give us 5 stars on Spotify.
Look at us. We were talking about earlier that we're entirely too proud to beg, and here we are begging for a crumb.
Please, little crumb.
For a little crumb of attention.
Please do.
Turns out we do need it.
We need your validation. Please. Please.
Do you validate parking?
Please do. And if you want to see pictures of Tessa and her sombrero, you're going to have to follow us at Doom Generation Pod on Instagram. If you want to see our Doom Doodles,
Oh, yes.
you're going to have to follow us on Doom Generation Pod on Instagram.
Fantastic.
We also have a Discord. Go
Yes.
join our Patreon. Get on our Discord. Get
I'm
in
all
there and
yes,
chat.
like I'm ever on there.
Like you're ever in there. If you want to talk to just Nicole,
Yes.
get on our Discord.
If you want to talk to me, you'll probably not be successful.
And always tune in to our YouTube live streams.
Yes,
on
we've
the
got
last
that coming
Saturday of the month.
The last weekend of the month, but usually Saturday.
But this is the beginning of the month, right? So we
Yeah,
probably just had one. So if you didn't just watch it,
right,
go watch it. It's
go
on
watch
YouTube.
it. It's fun.
YouTube.com/Doom Generation.
Right, we just wrapped up April, so now we are.
I know
in
we're so
May.
far ahead now. I'm like, I got to remember shit. This
I know.
is already
How
a month
does time
ahead.
work? How does
I
time
don't
work,
know.
Nicole?
I
Can you
don't
explain it to me?
No. I can't. And if this episode was too short for you and you need more, go to patreon.com/Doom Generation because there is lots of bonus audio content
There's
for
a
you
lot
there.
of stuff there.
And until next week.
We'll talk at you next time.
Later,
Doomers!